Hey everyone, I'm CL Zeno. I'm a comic writer and artist, and we're here to do a little YouTube video. We're talking about a couple things. We're doing a Ironheart review since we just finished that. All 6 episodes are out. We finished that, so we're going to review that first. And then we're talking about Marvel Rivals. Season 3 drops on the 11th. So we get Phoenix, we get Jean Grey, and then I don't think it's at launch, but we do get Blade at some point during Season 3. So I'm going to rank every Marvel Rivals character as of Season 3, and it's going to be not based on how good they are, but how good I am at playing them. And then we are going to talk about what characters we would want to be in Marvel Rivals in a future season. So that's going to be super fun. We've got 5 of each class, so we got 5 Vanguards, 5 Duelists, 5 Strategists. So stick around and let me know what character you want to see in Marvel Rivals in the comments. So we just saw Ironheart. They dropped 3 episodes the previous week, and then we just saw the finale. So those 3 episodes are out. The whole series is out. It's only 6 episodes, which feels like highway robbery. We got Riri, we got spoilers, and we only got 6 episodes. We definitely need more Riri. We definitely need a season 2. We definitely need a Young Avengers. We need a Strange Academy now. So we're getting into spoilers. So if you haven't seen Ironheart, please go watch it or skip ahead in the video to the Marvel Rivals section if that's what you're here for. Spoiler review of Ironheart. 1, we loved it. It was such a great series because Riri's such a great character. Her in Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, she felt like the main part of the story, but not the main character, if that makes sense. So she had a lot to do, had a lot to say, great introduction, but Shuri was definitely the main character in that. And even I think Namor got a little bit more in the script to say, kind of play off of Shuri in a big way. And even Queen Ramonda got kind of a swan song in that movie, and so she had a big part to play. Even Nakia felt like she maybe even overshadowed Riri a little bit in that movie. We definitely deserved an Ironheart series sooner rather than later, and I love the series so much. Having the themes be as well fleshed out as they were in only 6 episodes, everything from the loss of her admission at MIT, to her family, to her tragic backstory with her family and her best friend. Having Natalie be an AI, all that stuff was really, really. It didn't feel like there was much filler. The time that they spent with the characters, just having fun, felt like essential time to spend with those characters. Right? It was essential character building and world building to build the emotional stakes for Riri, for the big finale, or like to really establish what she's fighting for, right, in a big way. They didn't really waste any time, and so the fact that they pulled off as much as they did in 6 episodes was great. Shea Coulee was a highlight of the series. Obviously, we love them so much. Having Slug be so loved because it's Shea Coulee is just fun. I really hope that they come back at some point in some way, hopefully in season 2 or something. So yeah, like the whole be gay do crime gang that she was in was really fun. I even liked Alden Ehrenreich as Zeke Stain, which is a really fun pull from the MCU. But if you read the comics, you know that Zeke's a very Ironheart villain. So yeah, just so much fun. And then obviously the big spoiler at the end was Mephisto. We finally got Mephisto. So yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen did a great job, and it wasn't all Sacha Baron Cohen. It wasn't very campy. It wasn't silly. It was played pretty seriously, and so his embodiment of that role, I think, was surprising to me. It's probably the best acting I've seen from Sacha Baron Cohen. So big props to the writing of Mephisto into that plot, because it's clearly the main story arc of the last 3 episodes is the magic element of it, with her confronting Hood, integrating Zelma's magic into her armor and everything. and it's clearly going to be a part going forward. And so obviously we're excited to see Riri kind of confront Mephisto at some point, right? Because that deal is going to eventually bite her in the butt. It's going to come back to bite her. I really think a Young Avengers or a Champions series is going to have Mephisto as kind of a main player. I'm thinking about WandaVision and Wanda's kids being presumably in hell, and that's why she's using the Darkhold to try to, either reach out to Mephisto or find a way to get to hell to get her kids, right? That's kind of the end credit scene plug there. And so when we get Billy in Agatha All Along, it just seems like a natural breadcrumb that they even name drop Mephisto in that show. And I think Riri and Billy are going to be maybe two of the first Young Avengers, even though Kamala's making her own team. I think the real plot drivers are going to be Billy and Riri. So very excited about that. Yeah, we can't get more Riri soon enough. I'll definitely be rewatching it, knowing everything we know now. Same with Sinners, totally unrelated. It's on HBO now, so I'll be watching that again streaming because I know it would be better on a second viewing. I feel like Riri is kind of the same, to where now that we know her story and how it plays out, were there Easter eggs that we missed the first time, right? I know I definitely missed one because I saw it on Threads where somebody said if you didn't think Mephisto was red enough, you weren't paying attention because there's a spoon that he's like reflecting off of. I must have been blinking or looking away or doing something else because I didn't see that. So I'll definitely be rewatching it, not just for Mephisto, but just for the whole series. Definitely a big fan. And then Strange Academy, I think, could be even a second vehicle to get to a Young Avengers thing, or even just another spin-off series or something. So at the end of Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, right, America Chavez is training with Wong and the Sorcerers in Kamartaj. And we've seen Wong throughout Phase 4 and 5. We've seen Zelma kind of be a magical student, and so being an apprentice to Doctor Strange, to Wong, in the Strange Academy series would be really fun, especially with the new Harry Potter series coming out. I think that could be a really good competition for that. Is a popular name brand like Harry Potter, but now it's Marvel, and it'd be a young adult teen magic school series. So I'm really excited about the possibility that they're even having Zelma in there, even if she's just in the Young Avengers series and she's just a magical student. Just that character speaks to, I think, a need in pop culture that I'm really excited about. And I love the rapper, the actress that plays her, so she's great. And obviously everything Ryan Coogler touches is great, hence dropping Sinners in there. So yeah, he was an executive producer on Ironheart. I think he isn't gonna let something fail if he's involved, and he has also another project coming out, the Eyes of Wakanda series. So I think at the beginning of Ironheart they played a trailer, showing that that's coming out. I think in October or November, and it's an animated show. It does not look like a lot of the animated shows we've seen from the MCU so far. So it's not the same animation style as What If. It's not the same animation style as Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So really excited to see the art direction for that specifically. It did look very interesting from the small amount of footage that we saw from it, and just the story. Obviously, I think it's a prequel to the Wakanda that we were introduced to in Civil War and in Black Panther. So I think it's going to be a deep dive that is given a lot of love and a lot of space to really flesh out what Wakanda means in a big, meaningful way. So, man, lots to be excited about. After Thunderbolts, after Ironheart, MCU's back, baby. Let's go. All right, so we are ranking every Season 3 Marvel Rivals character based on how good I am at them and how good I think they are when I play them. So this is not which character is top tier for ranking up. It's not high elo. I'm dog shit at this game. So it's really just a casual gamer saying which ones I enjoy playing. So if you got opinions, that's great. I love to hear him. Just if it's actually this character's not great, that's not what this ranking is. So, um, yeah, we'll start from the bottom. We'll start with some of the worst characters. We'll rate them at a D tier. Just really, I don't enjoy playing them, or I think they're really terrible. Black Widow, I think objectively pretty terrible. I don't think a whole lot of people dispute that. I'm sure there's a Black Widow main on YouTube that will leave one comment on this. But yeah, the quick scoping doesn't seem satisfying. I feel like if you get a headshot and you quick scope, you should be able to kill any DPS, any strategist, and that's just not the case. She doesn't do enough damage to really justify her kit. Her movement, although is there, is not also good enough to keep her survivable, to keep her viable. Even her self-defense against dives is pretty poor. All around, like, I love Black Widow. She's one of my favorite characters from comics, from movies, but really not a fun thing to play in the games. It's such a downer, too, because I love Widowmaker in Overwatch. The one-for-one doesn't translate for Black Widow, unfortunately. Black Panther, alright, so definitely know that he can heck you up real good on the back lines, but I haven't figured out how to do it, so I don't have fun playing Black Panther. Yeah, he's definitely one. I feel like there's a learning curve for Black Panther that seems pretty steep and intimidating, and yeah, I definitely play tanks a lot, so getting in and getting out with your abilities, it seems pretty non-intuitive to me. I love the spear. It does a lot of damage. His ult's great. That's not my play style. There's a couple dive characters that I'm okay with. He's just probably my weakest one. So,
Mr. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's a tank. So he's not a duelist, and he's not a good tank either. So Captain America's a better tank than him, which is saying a lot. Essentially, around where Thor is for me, to where I'm gonna switch to Thor if I'm not doing enough damage as a tank. Like if our whole team isn't doing enough damage, I'll contribute by being Thor, going God mode, and attacking to get that burst damage. But Mr. Fantastic is just that, but worse. So I never really want to play Fantastic. I know he has range with how far his arms go. So for a brawler, he's pretty good at keeping people away from him and like stopping threats before they get to him. Anti-dive, whatever. He even has the anti-projectile Pop-Tart mode where he repels damage, but it's fun as a concept on paper, not fun to play as for me. Spider-Man, yeah, if I want to play Spider-Man, I'll just play Insomniac Spider-Man 2. I'll play Miles Morales. I'll play Spider-Man 1. All those games are way more fun for playing Spider-Man. That scratch that itch for me. I don't really get a whole lot out of playing Spider-Man in this game. That being said, I know his combos are great. He does a lot of damage. His maneuverability is bonkers. He has the most maneuverability in the game. That being said, I don't enjoy just doing the same combo in and out, striking, diving. Just diving in general is not really my strong suit. Again, I'm a tank player and I don't play Venom a lot. Hulk is good. But yeah, when I think of Spider-Man, there's an intuitive way that you can whip his webs in a video game, and this ain't it. Ultron, alright, so Ultron's a DPS. I want to come out and say it. So, just like Adam Warlock's a DPS, at least he has the res. So, if it weren't for his ultimate, I think Adam Warlock would be the worst strategist in the game. Since he has that res, Ultron is the worst strategist in the game. He does damage, which is great. If you are playing a DPS and you are a strategist, like if that's what you like about Adam Warlock and Ultron, I would like you to switch to DPS at that point. I would like you to get more kills. I don't want you to fill strategist, technically, and then not heal everybody. We would rather, I think, at that point, have 3 duelists and 2 good healers rather than 2 duelists and 2 healers and an Ultron. If you get my drift, like he's okay as a third healer. He's okay as Adam Warlock's good as a third healer. They definitely cannot heal bot like any of the other strategists as a second healer. It's just not I don't think it's viable with most comps. C tier. All right, so those were all D tier. Pretty unplayable for me. Again, for me. Moving on to C tier. Jeff.
My boy.
Jeff's great. I think Jeff is the accidental poster child of Marvel Rivals. We love Jeff. Whether you love to love him or love to hate him, we love Jeff. His ult is so fun and probably the most game changing. I know we've all been on point, holding down the point, and then you hear nom nom, and you're like, okay, well, we lost. There's nothing I can do. I'm Mr. Fantastic, so I guess I'll be dead. So yeah, like Jeff's fun, and they nerfed his Haktua attack. So they really want you to heal more as Jeff, which I appreciate, because when people play Jeff and they're the second healer and all they're doing is doing damage and getting kills, that's one way to do it. However, if that's a third DP, if that's a third strategist, that makes sense. If it's a second one, it doesn't make all the sense in the world. Not getting enough heals, even if you think you are, there's definitely better options to get more heals. But that being said, Jeff's the perfect troll character. Great survivability. I love the speed boost from the bubbles, the burst healing from the bubbles, just the ability to traverse walls and things is fun. Beyond that, there's so many other characters that I'd rather play, even as a strategist. So, Moon Knight. So, the game leads into the meme ability of a lot of characters. Venom, Jeff, Moon Knight is definitely one of them. He's very memeable. He's a great, like, it's not even like assassin. It's like he's like the ultimate poke character. With his onks, you kind of have to distract yourself from real targets and start focusing on the onks, because his damage is pretty good if you're in that kill zone. His ult is just menacing and funny. It's not the best ult in the game, but it is reliably very good at taking things out, taking up space, denying space. So Moon Knight's great. I'm not particularly great with his maneuverability and I'll say like his positioning yet. I don't really have a intimate knowledge of the map of the best place to throw onks from, and crescents. So that's really what keeps me from playing Moon Knight quite a bit. I know everybody plays him. It's always Cloak and Moon Knight for the team up. I'm just not gonna be that Moon Knight. So Wolverine. All right, Wolverine is a menace. As a tank main, I hate Wolverine. I'm gonna recommend banning him in all the lobbies, just because I don't want him to take me into a back alley and shoot me in the head. So yeah, if you haven't played Marvel Rivals and you're just listening for fun, Wolverine can basically do damage to you by percentage of your health, not really by actual number. So if you're Groot, who has the most health in the game, he can take you down at the same speed as he can take down anybody else. He's kind of the David to the Goliath of the tanks, to where he's specifically designed to go for the big guys. Which, given Logan, that's kind of appropriate. I really like how they made him as a character in the game. And he could also leap forward, kind of in a fastball special kind of way, which is also in the game, which is great. But yeah, he can leap forward, and he can take you with him. So if he grabs you and jumps, you're flying. And if he's got a jetpack from Rocket, you're flying. You're on a one-way, all-expense paid trip to death. Wolverine will heck you up. I am not good with Wolverine, but that being said, I really respect him, and I think it's really fun to watch the berserk meter go up, watch his hair go up in the regular skin, and just the amount of satisfaction you get from just playing Wolverine is ridiculous. Because we haven't had that Wolverine game yet that I think Insomniac is doing, and hopefully it's as good, if not better, because he's great to play as, but I'm no good with him. So Storm. All right, my favorite X-Man, Storm. So Storm's great. I think she would do better as a strategist. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I know she's killer. She does tons of damage with the lightning boosts instead of the speed boost. She does tons of damage. But I think just the idea of having that radius around you and have her kind of fly at like mid-height and really want to stick with her team is more of a strategist concept to me. I really liked playing Storm at the beginning. I don't really play her a lot anymore. I know that they have made her a lot more deadly and leaned into that. aspect of it. If I see a Storm, I definitely am worried. The flyer meta is very real right now, and Storm's a huge part of that. That being said, she's very slow. She has a very limited strategy. You kind of just control a whole lot of area and poke from very far away. Um, and like her ult's great, but like there are definitely a lot more characters that I can get more kills with, that I have more maneuverability with, that I have more interesting things to do with my character that I really just don't end up choosing Storm a lot. Adam Warlock. All right, I really want to love Adam Warlock, but I don't. Um, yeah, he's one of my favorite characters from the comics. The movie was okay, and yeah, he should be the Mercy from Overwatch of Marvel Rivals, but he's just not. He doesn't heal enough. So yeah, if you don't play Overwatch, I think Mercy is probably the best healer in the game, just from the amount of heals that she does. Her res is amazing. You know, it used to be her ultimate was the res, and then they made it a cooldown ability, and she flies now as her ultimate. I think Adam Warlock should fly. I think that make him a lot more viable in my opinion. Even if it was a slow crawl like Storms, I think he should still fly because he's Adam Warlock. But yeah, he's the other Ultron problem. He does damage. He does burst damage. The health pool is interesting. While I don't think it's the most useful thing in the game, I think it is an interesting thing. It can definitely come in clutch, and he needs it because you can't heal that much. Again, he has burst healing, which is good, but you're really trying. Your pathway to survivability is getting kills. You want to kill before you're killed, and that's not what I want out of a strategist. So, if he didn't have that res, he'd be pretty useless in my opinion. Human Torch. All right. So Old Hothead is fun. As a flyer, I think, does a good job of taking up space, controlling space. His triangle or his fire tornadoes are pretty good, locking down the ground and connecting the spots in the ground. I think it's fine. I don't think I don't think that concept is as effective at getting damage as some of the other flyers. I think even Storm would probably get more damage just by doing her normal thing. So he's a little bit like technical for me. Um, his ult is great. Obviously, the burn damage is good. It's just once a player finds a way to get around your area that you've burned, you just have to reassess what you're doing, and that's just a constant thing for him, which isn't the most fun thing for me. So he's very slow. I know he has a little bit of a dash. It has a longer cooldown than I like. Iron Man definitely is my favorite flyer based on his maneuverability that he has. Yeah, I don't really end up playing Johnny that much. Namor. So Namor's fun. I think he got picked up a lot in like ranked play because people understood that like once the characters that are really good get banned, he's not bad. Yeah, and the Gamma team up was really solid. With the extra squid, it was the Luna team up with the ice squid. So yeah, his third squid makes him a lot better. Hiding the squids is like the whole reason why he works. He's a very good anti-dive, anti-Spider-Man, all of that. He does massive damage just with his main attack. So I do play him quite a bit. When maybe I've been playing the ones that my go-tos all the time, I'll definitely switch to Namor, especially for that anti-dive, anti-Spider-Man. So his ult is fine. I like it. It's hard to aim at first, but once you learn it, it's a really effective ult. Definitely not one of the best, but a solid ult. So Namor's pretty good. He's hottest male character that the devs made. So
Most naked.
he's the most naked. Yeah, they just love showing Namor. Thor. Okay, so Thor's the worst tank. Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take. I think he sucks. No, I think Cap is better. Thor's fine. His ult is weird. It's fine. The only thing I find value out of playing Thor is using the God mode and just doing a ton of damage, which is not what I want out of a tank at that point, right? We talked about that with Mr. Fantastic. So I'd rather just play a DPS at that point. That being said, like he's actually not bad. He has decent survivability with the L1, right? His little shield that gives him more god power and stuff. The hammer throw flies is useful sometimes. it's just not good enough to make me want to play him all the time. That being said, I think the worst tank is better than a lot of the worst characters that we've already talked about. So I do play Thor sometimes, especially when I want to get some more damage. So he's a good character. I like all of the tanks a lot better. And the C tier, those were all the ones that I don't think are that great. B tier is either I know that they're really good and I don't know how to play them, but they're broken, so even I can get some value out of them, or even if I know how to play them, I don't think they're that good. So it's like struggling to get value, and so that's like really going to keep them from being higher on the list. All right, Hela. Frequently banned, extremely great poke DPS. Aiming for headshots is really what it's all about. The team up with Thor and Loki's great. Kind of hard to get value out of that with like timing the kills and the deaths and things. Pretty decent survivability where you have the crow to get away and things. Her ult's fine. She's just not enough bang for your buck for me. I'm not that great at getting headshots. That's not. I'm playing on console, so I'm not trying to use my mouse and get all the headshots and get really good aim and be good at Hela and Hawkeye and all that jazz. So she's pretty broken, and you can definitely get lots of kills as Hela, even if you don't know how to play.
Hawkeye.
Same thing. His maneuverability, I don't think is as good as Hela's. He's got the jump. He's got the get away from me Ronin sword. That's about it. So I think I would prefer to play another character. But I know that he's really broken. He does a lot of damage. His ult is killer. I respect a Hawkeye. I hunt him down and kill him more than I play him. Phoenix is brand new. So didn't know where to put her on the list. Put her at B just to put her in kind of a solid spot. Based on the gameplay footage I saw from just the announcement trailer and I think just gameplay footage trailer and like some streamers that got access to him early, Flats, Boger, people like that. It looks like her ult is something that people are afraid of, just coming and striking for you out of nowhere because she can kind of I think teleport before that and then just come in and strike you like a missile. And it looks terrifying and she'll probably kill you. But other than that, I really like just in general the character design. The Phoenix force being behind Jean in the Phoenix suit is really cool. It looks like I think she can fly for a little bit maybe. It's kind of hard to tell from the limited stuff I watched. Yeah, I'm just excited to see her in the game and play as her. So Loki, all right, Loki's great. His 3 lamps are underrated healing. A lot of people I think like to put Loki in the he's not a strategist, he's a duelist category, and I think that a lot of people that play Loki can be victim to that. However, I don't think he does a poor job of healing, especially with those lamps. And when you put down 2 clones, and you're healing with the clones, and you have lamps, the decent amount of healing. It is again very technical, so to get that value, you do have to learn whether it's like positioning, how to sneak up on people, how to impersonate a clone, how to switch to the element before dying. So there's a lot of skills to pick up. Plus, you have to learn every ultimate in the game in order to get any value out of Loki, because you have to learn how to play against every other character and with every other character, and then against and with all of those characters, which ultimate's going to be the best value. So you really do have to have an in-depth gameplay knowledge of the entire game to get the most value out of Loki, which is a hard thing to do when you are such a casual player as myself. Magic, all right. Magic's broken, and I can't play as her. I'm learning. So, Magic's great. I think on paper, kind of a dive character, if you want to use that word, but she's an assassin. She comes in, she kills you, she gets out. And so, yeah, she's terrifying. If I'm Doctor Strange, she's gonna bait out my fly ability just because she's there, and I don't want to die, right? If I'm a flyer and she sees me, I'm gonna fly away, right? I'm not looking to engage with Magic or let her engage with me because she's that deadly and does that much damage. The fact that she can throw her sword against flyers makes her especially deadly. So yeah, she's just kind of got everything. I think the ult leaves a little bit to be desired. I know that she has more health, and I think more attack speed is faster. I think her portals are farther. Like she just is stronger and more powerful. It's just not that great compared to some of the other ultimates. So Magic's great, and I want to learn how to get better with her, but I'm not there yet. Penny's great too. A lot of people think Penny's a bad tank. I think she's bad at being a damage-taking tank. However, the fact that she has so much damage makes her undeniably a tank. But she's more of a defense. So if you're controlling the point, I don't think she's maybe the best person on her team. You'd probably only want to play her on defense. In some maps, she's kind of broken to where there's a huge choke point where she can just leave a bunch of traps. So switching characters, when you switch characters because of a character, I think that has more to do with like your character's natural defenses or strengths. And so like I will change characters based on if there's a Penny on the team because the mines are so deadly. So if I'm Captain America, I'm not going to remain on Captain America. If there's a Penny, I'm going to switch. If I'm an Iron Fist, I'm going to switch. If probably even if I'm a Hulk. So you really want to use a ranged character because she's, not the deadliest with just her main attack. She's not particularly fast. She does have a couple abilities to help her get away, wall crawl and web thwip and stuff. She's deadly at shutting down your ult. So I think she gets a lot of value. Just not a lot of people know how to play her. I wish that I knew how to play her even better. She's pretty great, but I don't end up picking her because there are a ton of tanks I like more than her. But situationally, she's probably a underrated tank for some situations. Iron Fist. All right, so potentially broken, nerfed, buffed throughout the whole game. Just hotly debated about what to do with him. But the fact is, he's deadly, and he's got a lot of maneuverability for a brawler. His jumps, wall crawl, all that stuff. You can just jump onto a roof, heal yourself, and come right back into the fight, which is pretty deadly. Again, his path to survivability is getting kills sometimes. So you kind of are like a suicide bomber where you go in thinking, hey, it's either going to be you or me, and I'm going to try to do all the damage I can to kill you first. And if I die, I die. And that's kind of a fun playstyle to play. Not my go-to, but Iron Fist is really fun. That being said, he is pretty limited because he does have to be adjacent to a target to attack them. But that being said, he does have, again, decent survivability, kind of like Wolverine, to where he gets a lot of bonus damage and stuff like that just from being engaged in the fight and in the thick of it. So really fun. Not my go-to. Magneto. All right. Magneto I know is broken as a tank, but I don't prefer to play as him a lot of the time. Used to play Sigma religiously in Overwatch, and he seems like a watered-down version of that, which is weird because Sigma is definitely a ripoff of Magneto, the character. I don't enjoy playing Magneto as much as I do Sigma in Overwatch, so I think his main shield is fine. I wish it either stayed in place forever, like a lot of other character shields. I wish it lasted longer. So I wish he was more like Emma or Strange, and that's why they were higher up on the list. And his bubble shield's fun. I really like that. His ultimate, if you don't know what it does, will kill you. Magneto leaves much to be desired, but I do respect him. I think he's a good tank. I could get value out of him. I just choose other tanks more because I can get more value out of him. Psylocke. Alright, so Psylocke is another assassin, just like Magic, that I don't want anywhere near me. Her poke ability is a little bit better. She doesn't just throw her sword one time and she's done. She definitely can. She reminds me more of Sombra from Overwatch, right? So she can become invisible, come up and sneak up on you and assassinate you real quick. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Her ultimate is pretty deadly, especially the height at which she can hit you. So even with your Doctor Strange hovering over it, she'll definitely kill you anyway. So you really do have to get out of there or fly as high as like Iron Man or an actual bona fide flyer to get away. So Psylocke's pretty deadly. Again, dive assassin, not my strong suit, so I am learning to get better with both Magic and Psylocke because they are pretty great, pretty broken, but not quite there yet. Alright, so now we're getting into people that I play pretty much every time I play Rivals because I feel like I'm particularly good at using them. getting value out of them. I think that they are some of the stronger characters in the game. So I think I'm either proficient with some of the best characters in the game, and I know how to play them, and I'm okay with them, and I can get kills and play in competitive lobbies and rank up and win, or I'm obsessively hyper focused with characters that probably aren't that great objectively, but I get as much value as I can out of them, and I think that they are a great character in my opinion, but maybe not in everybody else's opinion. Captain America, not a great character in everybody's opinion. However, I think he adds a unique thing that I didn't know I needed out of a tank and out of Captain America and out of this game, honestly. So a lot of the dive characters are focused on diving, getting kills on the healers, on the backliners, the Hellas, the Hawkeyes. That's not really what Cap is about. Cap is not as deadly as some of the dive characters. And so, like, yes, you can just jump and strike landing on your opponents and hit some combos, right? His shield bash, he can throw his shield and stuff. Like, that's all fun. It's still not that deadly. So really, chasing down your healers is a lot easier because he runs fast. Even if they're Luna Snow, you can probably keep up with them pretty good. Hunting down and separating a healer from the fight is more important than people realize. It's not about the fact that you're chasing them. It's the fact that they're not healing their team. So whether it's a tank who's almost dying, you're hunting down the Emma, she's not killing you fast enough, you get a health pack, you come back, you're still fighting her. That whole time she's away from her team. So Cap is, I think, a little underrated, and the more you're having fun with Cap, probably the more value you're getting out of him. Groot, alright, so yeah, Groot is broken. I'm okay at Groot. If I were to play any more Groot, I'd probably get obsessed. The wall ability is broken to get kills. You know, separating the tanks from their healers is a death sentence unless you're Doctor Strange and you fly over the walls, or you're Thor and you fly over the walls. Like, unless you know to do that, or unless you realize that you can't back up like you normally can because Groot has placed a wall, you're dead. So he's got the most health in the game, the base health. His ranged attack is pretty good. Even his base attack, which is a melee, has a pretty good range. So yeah, his walls are pretty great. His ultimate is pretty good, especially when comboed with other ultimates. If you just communicate with your team, hey, I have my ultimate, or hey, I'm using my ultimate, then he's pretty deadly. And so, in terms of like having fun playing a character, I don't think you have to get kills to have fun, but I think the more you learn to play Groot and the more you do learn to have kills and survive and not die, like, because he's very slow, so you have to kill some people in order to not die. You can't just rely on your healers. So yeah, the more you learn how to play him and get kills, I think the more fun he is. Doreen, Squirrel Stampede is the silliest ultimate in the game. It was basically laughed at when it first dropped because all you had to do was jump over them, then you would be immune to the effects because they only lasted a few seconds. When they added the health to it, it did complicate it a little bit. It has the onk effect where you do have to start targeting a different thing, and it's annoying, and it keeps them off putting pressure and being on the objective and getting kills and stuff. So and even healing. So yeah, you can definitely mess up some people up with Squirrel Girl. I don't think she's an objectively good character in the game to where people start like playing her competitively, but I do enjoy playing as her. She's one of my favorite DPS. I do get a lot of kills as her. I like her jump ability. I think it's kind of underrated for gaining better positioning and for escape. Her R1 ability is pretty awesome, that it's that flexible that you can just get a cooldown back. It's a pretty high concept ability for a video game, especially just a kind of mainstream Marvel free to play game. So really fun kit. Kind of repetitive after a while, but once you learn how to aim with her, she's pretty deadly. She does a lot of damage. Scarlet Witch, definitely one that I think not a lot of people think are objectively a good character in terms of like their damage output, but she's very good at messing up the flow of the game. So her whole point is to kind of get off angles, be invisible, and then sneak behind people and kill them. She reminds me of Moira from Overwatch, so I definitely hate Moira as much as I hate Scarlet Witch. When I'm playing against her and she's kicking my ass, I definitely feel the feel the pressure from that character specifically when they do get a lot of value. I enjoy going after flyers with Scarlet Witch, so finding an Iron Man and just using both of my dashes to just fly up and go get him, because who the hell would do that? Because that's crazy, and that's exactly why she's great, because she does kind of is able to do bold things that you shouldn't be able to do. She's not a dive character, but she definitely is an assassin, even though she's slow and doesn't do a lot of damage. I think she's an assassin because of how you have to play her kit. So, and her ultimate obviously is just feared, is an understatement. So if you see her, you either kill her or you're dead. Yeah, I really enjoy playing the Scarlet Witch. I just need more skins. You know, like every skin is red hair, red shirt, red pants. It's all red. Everything's red. Give me some more skins.
She has orange hair in one of them.
Cool. Mantis. All right. Mantis was one of my favorite characters when I first started playing the game. She felt like your whole team was invincible when you're playing as her, just because healing is a little bit OP in this game in general. Um, so I play strategists a lot more than I play duelists. They're vital to your team's success. So being good at healing is being good at this game. So if you don't heal, learn it. And Mantis is a great one because she has the poke, damage lethality of a DPS without really advertising it. So her my anger is helping ability is really fun for getting some of those extra kills when your team does need more damage, without having to go to Adam Warlock or Ultron to get them more damage. She can just kind of do it flexibly. Um, Her ultimate is a solid support ultimate to keep your team alive that we all kind of learn to trust. Whether it's the cloak, Invis, or Mantis, we all understand that we're not going to die when we hear those voice lines, and we kind of base our ult economy off of those support ults. So Mantis is definitely one of those. Her sleep ability reminds me of Ana from Overwatch, which is one of the reasons I like to play her as a healer, because not only can you use your sleep ability aggressively to kind of turn a fight by hitting a tank or a target that's flying or something, and force them to stop and get hit and die. It's also a very good survivability tool for the anti-dive. So Mantis is great. I wish that I played her all the time. Need to dedicate more time to her because she's pretty broken. All right, Rocket Raccoon. I think he's the first character you should play in the game because he's very easy. Right click to do damage, left click to heal. Pretty self-explanatory, but he does have some hidden extra oomph that a lot of people take for granted. His res ability is very viable, I think. Without having to do Star-Lord, Mantis, Warlock to get some amount of resing, you can just have a rocket. So, or even Hela, Loki, Thor. You don't have to do any of that. You just have rocket, and you place your be right back, I think it's called. Once someone on your team dies, they likely go to the res, and they're back in the fight. As long as nobody destroys it, they're going to keep doing that once, I think. So his wall climb is kind of his survivability, in my opinion. Like, the dashes are fine, but people know how to play against that because they know you have the dash ability. The wall crawl is a little bit more skill based, so if you know your maps, you know to wall crawl as an instinct to survive, then I think you'd be a lot better off than just dashing. He's not the most damage, he's not the most healing, he's just solid. So I think that prevents him from really being S tier. Even if you're good with him, I think Rocket isn't the best character in the game, but he is a solid one. The Thing, alright, I love The Thing. Very excited for the Fantastic Four movie coming out later this month. The Thing is cool. I like that he's immune to crowd control. It kind of defeats a lot of characters' best weapons against you. So I don't think he can be kidnapped by Wolverine. I don't think he can be pushed by Invisible Woman, right? So like, you're already like taking away someone's chance to stop you. So when you're rushing in to kill them and they hit you with one of those and you don't really care, you just keep powering through it. That's pretty awesome. And I think they changed in season 3 that he'll be able to, just like you rush in and you mess people up, you clobber them up, and then you jump back to your team and give them some shield. I think you're also going to be able to jump to enemies now, which makes him all the more viable because you do have to switch off of Thing if there's any flyer, essentially, because he is a brawler. He only punches. He doesn't have any range. So now he's gonna jump to you and kill you, which is amazing. I think his punch is going to punch people out of the sky in season 3. So even if you're on a map and you're on the high ground in Shin Shibuya or Clintar, and you just punch somebody that's flying by you and they go down, that's great. But if you are able to jump to them and take them out of the sky, that's the best anti-dive brawler in the game, even better than the Hulk, because you jump to them specifically. You don't have to even aim it, I don't think, if it works exactly like the jump to your allies ability. So Thing is an A as of right now, but for Season 3, I think he might even go up to an S, so we'll see. Alright, Punisher's great. Positioning for your turret is vital. It does have a very low cooldown, so you're able to get your turret a lot. He has great maneuverability. Even if you don't know how to use it, it's still there, and you need to learn it. His ziplines are phenomenal for getting great positioning, for escape, for getting back to point. Like, his ziplines are great. It's not really something that you expect from a character with guns. That's just not... Maneuverability is not the first thing you think of when you think of Soldier 76, right? He just runs in Overwatch, and he runs fast and shoots, and that's all he does. You're playing Call of Duty, but he's a hero shooter. And that's kind of not really true with Punisher. He also has the shotgun, which is underrated, and plays more like Roadhog from Overwatch, to where you're effective at mid-range, like deadly and lethal at mid-range, as opposed to just within range of Mr. Fantastic arms or Groot's arms or Magic's sword swing. Like he's gonna kill you with a shotgun. His smokescreen getaway is fine. He's pretty good, and I think his ultimate is deadly as hell, even if he's still just as squishy. So very, very, very good character. Star-Lord's awesome. He's Marvel Rivals Tracer with his little jumps he does. His ultimate is deadly and feared. You better run away or kill him because you're dead. And yeah, I think even if you don't have a whole lot of skill, you can get a lot of value out of Star-Lord because he's very lethal. I definitely know people could play him in competitive just because the amount of damage he does. Just if you played Tracer in Overwatch and you're thinking about playing Rivals, I mean, he's your guy. So his Blaster Barrage ability, I think, leaves a little bit to be desired for me personally. I know that it is good at dodging, doing damage, kind of AoE. I wish that it worked in the game as it does on paper or in my head. It's just not my favorite part of his kit. If I use it, great. If not, I still feel like I'm doing just as much because I don't think I get a lot of value out of that. Venom. Alright, Venom is the most annoying tank in the game because you can never kill him. And I think that's why he's honestly one of the best tanks in the game. He is the best at tanking, taking damage, having the most health in the game. Besides Groot, he doesn't have the base health, but with the shield, he does have the most health. He just doesn't do a lot of damage. That's his only real flaw. Yes, there are ways to, effectively dive. They force you to dive to do the damage necessary to make Venom viable. Crawling up walls is vital, and then using your slam, and then having your web ability for escape. That kind of dive pattern and learning your rhythm with your cooldowns is essential to getting Venom to where it needs to be. I just still, even when you do that, I still don't like it as much as I like some other tanks. So I will play Venom sometimes. Definitely not my go-to. His ultimate is weak, but he's just unkillable, utterly respectable if there's a good Venom. If he's chasing you down because he walks pretty fast for a tank, I'd be scared. Bucky, again. One of the funnest ults in the game. It's so stupid and so fun, and the voice line is ridiculous. That really, if you learn how to play Bucky, he's one of the most rewarding characters to learn to play. That being said, it is pretty difficult to play mid-range. Again, kind of like that Roadhog level of lethality to where your survival plan is either poking people far away and staying far away, or if you're near them, you need to engage and kill them in order to survive. Not my favorite playstyle, to be honest, but you only need a few minutes to learn how to play him to really start to make an impact in the game. Even at low skill level, I think he's just super lethal, and the ultimate is great. A lot of people lean towards Punisher. I think Winter Soldier's underrated. He's just as good, if not better, in the right hands. So, Emma Frost, all right. Emma's extremely great, extremely well received in season 2. Definitely a new fan favorite. She won the whatever vote for who wins the best dressed at the gala thing because she's the horniest character that the devs made in the game. She's the hottest female character in the game because she's Emma Frost. Because why wouldn't she be, right? She just exudes sex appeal. If you don't know, Rivals is a pretty cheeky game, I think is a good way to say that.
A nice way to say
The devs have fun making the game. It's appropriate, but barely. Kind of like Overwatch, to where yes, it is appropriate, but come on, these devs are very sweaty. So when Emma is in play, I know to kind of give her respect because her grab ability can be a death sentence. You know, she grabs you, puts you on the floor, kicks you, you might be dead depending on how much health you have. That ability will bait out my Doctor Strange fly ability every time. If she grabs me and puts me on the floor, I don't want to die, so I fly away. So like she's very good at being in the front lines and then going back and poking, being in the front lines, going back and poking, and so you kind of have to learn to respect what she's doing because she's not going to stop until you're dead. She gets a lot of value out of her shield and her crystal, which not a lot of people know if they don't play her. So if you only play against an Emma, you really need to learn what she does in order to not sink all of your damage into her shield and become a victim to the crystals. So yeah, Emma's great. Her ultimate is great. I don't think it's the best ultimate. I think it's a very, 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 very good ultimate. Just being able to stop you from running away is OP in and of itself, because Emma's team can swarm you and kill you. So great for crowd control. Not the deadliest, but it's a great ultimate. So yeah, just the diamond form in a tank is everything we want. So S tier. These are the characters I play all of the time. I will log in to play these characters. I will be thinking about how to get more value out of these characters if possible. I can be a better, main. These are my mains, and I think they're great characters. Whether they're competitively the best or not, I enjoy playing them the most, and that's what this ranking is. Invisible Woman, arguably the best healer in the game, best strategist. She's extremely lethal. She can get lots of kills. We'll top the kill count in the lobby out of nowhere, seemingly. Her ultimate, her defensive ult is one that you can expect to save you, one that you should have on your team. If you don't have a invis on your team, you should probably be invis. The fact that you can turn invisible by jumping is great for survivability. If they don't know where you are, they can't kill you. Your shield is great. Every ability of hers is great. Pushing away a Wolverine, pushing away an Iron Fist, pulling somebody who's trying to run away so you can kill them. Just all around great character. Invisible Woman is goated. Luna Snow. I would say not as beginner friendly as Invisible Woman, but the fact that she can skate quickly is underrated for survivability, getting back on the point. Her defensive ultimate is one that, again, you can expect to save you. You're going to build your entire meta, ult economy around the Luna ult. What can I kill Luna with? I'm going to choose that character to play as so I can kill her. It's just such a fixture of the game, just like Jeff is. I think the Luna ult is probably the most iconic ultimate, even though it's not exciting and it's just nobody dies in this blue field. I think it's the one that people recognize the most. And so her claps are really where she gets a lot of her value. It's burst heal that you want from Adam Warlock, but it is on a shorter cooldown. Therefore, she's better than Item Warlock. And sure, it's not as much burst healing as just bubbles, but it also has a shorter cooldown than those. So she's reliably a great heal bot. Her freeze ability is just as good as Mantis's sleep in terms of like survivability or even using that aggressively. So I really think Luna's great. She has some great team ups. I definitely want to play Luna more and more and more and be a better Luna main. Iron Man, all right. I think the best flyer. I think that's um, hard to dispute, but definitely true for me. I enjoy playing Iron Man the most. If people aren't doing a good job at Duelist on my team, I might switch to Iron Man just kind of reflexively, just to get more damage output, just to just absolutely carpet bomb the point and take up space with my I forget what the ability is, but your triangle ability, his overdrive I think it's called, where you do more damage. That's also great for defensive when someone's trying to target you, whether it's a Spider-Man or another flyer, or somebody just kind of getting up all in your business. You can even go to the point, use your overdrive, use your unibeam to just deal absolutely massive damage. You will die, and it's worth it every time. His ultimate is hard to avoid. You can hear it, you can see it coming, but unless you are a particularly quick character or have a maneuverability based ability, you're probably dead if they aimed it right. So really not one to underestimate. You kind of have to switch to something to deal with the Iron Man if there is an Iron Man. If you are an Iron Fist, probably not the best to go against an Iron Man unless you are really really good Iron Fist and know how to get up there to kill him. But yeah, he's unavoidable and unignorable because he deals so much damage. So um, I think his team ups are pretty solid as well. So if I do find myself playing with Iron Man and not switching off because people depend on the team ups. Cloak and Dagger is great. I think Invis is still the best healer in the game, but I enjoy playing Cloak and Dagger a lot. She does have consistently great heals. She's a great heal bot. She has great survivability for keeping herself alive, for keeping her team alive. All of her abilities are based on that. And you can really be aggressive because of the amount of healing that you can put out if you're healing effectively. So you have some options and some flexibility, but if you go into being aggressive, you put down your bubble to heal your team. You use that heal ability forward, and you just keep spamming the heals. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat just based on your healing alone. Switching to Cloak, um, I think the only ability that I don't love is the Disappear ability. It is good. I think Invis is better uh, based on how his ability works, how long it lasts, how far you can travel, and just how much less damage he does than Invis. If there were some nerfs on Invisible Woman or some buffs on Cloak and Dagger, that could change on whether I think Invisible Woman's still the best healer in the game. But Cloak is very, very, very respectable. When you hear the Us Against the World, you know you're saved. Her ultimate is essential. It's one of those defensive ults you want to bait out for your ult economy. So, very good at defending themselves and very good at keeping the pressure, whether it's getting kills or just racking those healing numbers up. So, Cloak is not one to underestimate. Or if you haven't learned how to play them, I encourage you to learn how to play them because they're extremely fun. Hulk. All right, so my favorite dive character. Um, he's so annoying. If you if you are getting dove by the Hulk, um, sometimes you just want to like turn your game off, log off, go outside, because the Hulk is coming for you. Um, he reminds me of Diva from Overwatch simply because he has a level of dying that isn't death, and then you can respawn into your big form. And so I like to play Diva a lot in Overwatch. And so sure, when my mech goes down, and I can still be kind of lethal, not really, very squishy, kind of lethal. You can poke a little bit. You're really just focused on getting health back, staying alive. That definitely reminds me of the Bruce Banner experience, which you just don't want to be Bruce Banner anymore. You want to stay alive. You want to get health packs. You want to poke. You have even a get away from me gamma bomb. So the ultimate is great. It's hard to learn how to use. He's not the most beginner friendly character. When you're playing and you're trying to use your ult, I would say be more conservative with your ult than you think, because in his ultimate form he can't use his bubble shield on himself, his gamma shield, so he is more killable. So kind of one of the meta things to defeat a Hulk player, not me, dude, somebody else, is to kill the monster Hulk. So when he hulks out, don't run away from him just because he'll slam you. The slamming isn't even actually the best part of the ultimate. Him just knocking you up in the air actually is more effective because he can just keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that. And then right before his ultimate goes away, he'll probably slam you around a little bit. But yeah, kill that monster Hulk because he will become not Hulk but Bruce Banner and probably die. So yeah, he's really more vulnerable as Monster Hulk than I would like. That being said, it's still super fun to just slam Loki around like in the movie. So I still enjoy playing Hulk.
Doctor Strange.
The Eye of Agamotto! Yeah, I play Doctor Strange all the time. Good medicine! No, he's so annoying. No, I love Doctor Strange. The reason to learn to play Doctor Strange is when you die as any character and you need to touch point. If you switch to Doctor Strange, you immediately have a portal ability, which is off cooldown because you were not playing Doctor Strange. And if you portal to the mission area, you can immediately start touching point and holding the position, potentially not losing the game, not letting your enemy team advance the cart, not get a checkpoint. You can win the game just simply by knowing that he has a portal and it's available to you at all times, no matter what role you're playing. So definitely underrated. The Eye of Agamotto is great, especially when combined with other abilities. Fun fact about the Doctor Strange ult: so when they go into their spectral form, right, like the punch with either Hulk from the Ancient One in the Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home, where he punches Peter out of his body. In that form, you can do damage to both the body and the spectral form. So obviously you can aim at either, but one of Doctor Strange's best abilities is his Maelstrom of Madness ability, his R1. So it just does a burst of damage around him, and he builds up dark energy. And so when it's at 100, it chimes at you and gives you a bell, and there's a certain amount of time you have to use it before it starts going down. So really the ideal is when you are just farming that dark energy charge, building up to 100, pop your ult. Now you can deal maximum 100% damage to everyone around you, and it actually gets multiplied by 2 because you're hitting their body and their spectre ability. So if you're not tracking that combo, you're not playing Doctor Strange correctly. His flying ability is a great survivability. If you're getting dove by a magic, a Psylocke, a Iron Fist, a Spider-Man, whoever, just start flying just to get out of there. His shield is great. When you're using portals, you can do fun portal tech where you're killing people off the map out of spawn, which is super annoying. You can portal above somebody to dive in and use your Eye of Agamotto, and you actually do the animation on the way down as you're falling, so you don't have to survive using your ult. You just fall, and then your ult is happening on the floor. So yeah, there's tons of reasons to love Doctor Strange. I love playing as him. He's got some great skins. I think the God of Magic is my favorite skin, the one that has the white eye that's glowing in the middle of his forehead. Super fun. So anyway, those are all my my mains for the S tier, and those are all the characters that we ranked in Marvel Rivals. So hopefully you had fun. We're going to talk about the next portion of the video, which is the characters that I would like to see in future seasons of Marvel Rivals. Alright, so we're talking about the characters that I would like to see in future seasons of Marvel Rivals. So characters I think would work well in the game, characters that either I'm a fan of or I think would, again, their abilities in comics and movies would translate really well into the game. So we're going to start with, so we just got Phoenix right in Season 3, and we're getting Blade. Those are both confirmed to be coming. So Blade was a huge part of Season 2 with the Dracula maps and things. You saw the wanted posters, the events, him in the bed, just all of it. Very silly. So Null is coming in Season 3, and Phoenix Force is going to stop him, and also Blade is there. So I don't know what the story is particularly in depth, but we are getting Blade. The other characters, there's a lot of characters that are rumored to appear. The rumors that I think I hear the most, that I think are basically confirmed or leaked or whatever at this point, I reliably think that I believe that they're going to come up in the game, so therefore I'm not going to talk about them as potential characters I'd like to see, because I think they're already coming, is Deadpool and Cyclops. So I think they're both the the most mentioned rumored characters. So we'll just go ahead and accept that they're probably coming. So now let's get into the characters that I think are going to be in there. We're going to do 5 of each class. So we're going to do 5 vanguards, 5 duelists, and 5 strategists. And we have some honorable mentions at the end that didn't really make the cut, but still think they're fun to talk about. And we'll try to talk about like what maybe they could do with their abilities in the game, what that maybe will look like, and hopefully that's pretty fun. First one is the Silver Surfer, so he's my favorite character if you didn't know. And I don't know what class he would be, which is why I don't think I wanted to include him in any of the classes, just because he could be any of them, right? You could see him being unkillable because he's the Silver Surfer. You could see him doing a lot of damage because of the Power Cosmic. Even you could shoehorn him into being a healer. So like I think he'd be a great character. The flying speed would be kind of interesting if he has maybe an Iron Man level of like sprintable ability. That would be fun. But yeah, whether he's healing or doing damage, I definitely would love to see Norin or Shalabal even in the game. So Vanguard. First Vanguard, Cable. Alright, so not only just because Deadpool's in the game, but because I think he's a really tanky, fun character. So with the character design in the game, his shoulders and his shoulder pads and guns and things would be extremely fun to see in the game. It would be fun to have more characters with guns be vanguards. Not really the biggest thing. There's a lot of brawlers and just a lot of like projectiles and stuff, but not really just straight up guns. So Punisher but tankier is really a fun ability. Can't even imagine what his ultimate would be besides a BFG and potentially a time traveling related thing. So very interested to see if Cable comes into play. Alright, next one, Luke Cage. So he would be one of my favorite candidates to be a Vanguard in the game, obviously because he's bulletproof. So if he had a damage reduction for projectiles, bullets, whatever, that would be great. Kind of like the damage resistance for the Diamond form for Emma Frost. I think he'd be great. He would be another brawler, but I think he could have some really unique abilities, be a little bit more deadly than maybe people would be expecting, so they'd be underestimating him. An Iron Fist and Luke Cage team up would be a must, so I think he'd be an awesome addition to the game. Ghost Rider. So I think there's a case to be made for motorcycle or nah. If Ghost Rider's not on a motorcycle, I think he's pretty slow. I think he's sluggish. I think he's carrying around chains. They're heavy. There's lots of like clanking chain sounds on the floor as he walks, which would be cool. Very menacing, very deadly. He could have a Hellfire, either main weapon or ultimate ability that's just him just shooting fire out of his face, which would be really fun. Whipping his chains everywhere. If the ultimate ability involves a motorcycle, that'd be cool. Or if he just has it all the time and does wheelies and shit. Like, just the dumbest, most fun character design I could really think of. They already have a lot of fire, so maybe burning damage effects go into his character. So, yeah, really fun. Alright, X-Men that we need in the game that are Vanguards is got to be Colossus. So, our boy would probably be a brawler and would have lots of health and maybe damage resistance, which is pretty similar to a lot of the other characters, so it wouldn't be too hard of like a meta shift, but he could have really fun team-ups and things. Like, obviously, he would be a candidate for fastball special, just like Hulk and Thing with Wolverine, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they kind of change up that brawler kit to make him different and more interesting than just a Hulk or a Thing punching things and have lots of health. So, yeah, really interesting if they had Colossus. All right, and Vanguards with lots of health, Captain Marvel, underrated choice, I think. So I think she would have a lot of health in the game. I think she would be able to fly in the game, which would be fun because there are not any flyers that are Vanguards. Doctor Strange doesn't count. Venom doesn't count. He doesn't fly. So, yeah, it should be really fun to add to the flyer meta as a tank. It would just be, I think, the most annoying. Just the obvious main attack of just the energy bolts, the flying dash, whatever, her ultimate going binary, or just doing a high-powered flying, smashing attack. Just the thought of Captain Marvel being in the game as a Vanguard, I think, is really exciting to me, and not a duelist specifically. I think she'd be a great Vanguard. Moving on to the duelists, so characters that do a lot of damage. Some of these characters I think are rumored, but I think they're the ones that I don't believe as much, and so sure, it's wishful thinking to think that these would be duelists in Marvel Rivals in a future season. But that being said, I'm still very excited at the possibility of them being in the game. So, first one I'm excited for, the idea of being a duelist, is Taskmaster. So, I'm a huge Taskmaster fan. Obviously, the Black Widow movie, although I really did like that movie, the Taskmaster character only really works in the context of that movie. Being Dreykov's daughter, being a monster of Natalie's making, it's just not really cohesive, I think, with the character moving forward past the movie. Hence her death in Thunderbolts. So, yeah, I would love to see Taskmaster with a sword, with a bow, with a shield in the game, doing things that Hawkeye does, Cap does, the sword that Hawkeye does, maybe even strong slashes that Magic does. Like, who knows? Just being an overall well-rounded, all ranges duelist would be really exciting. Especially if he had a decent amount of health, like 250 or 300, like would really make him formidable, I think. So yeah, Taskmaster would be a really great duelist. All right, next duelist I'd love to see would be Nova. So whether it's Richard Rider or Sam Alexander, I would really couldn't care less. I love Nova, love the Nova Corps. So having a flyer that does damage that's similar to Iron Man but has way different abilities, probably leans more into the flying than Iron Man even does, just making him kind of a annoying flyer. I think would be very on brand. His ultimate has like the world mind, and it maybe has just more power output. It's a big energy beam, or he has the Nova Corps show up. There's a big ship or something, like, who knows? Like, there's just so much fun ideas that you can do with Nova. All right, next duelist I think would be cool would be Ant-Man and the Wasp. Similar to Cloak and Dagger, I think it'd be really fun to play as both Ant-Man and Wasp. And so Wasp would obviously be better at like maneuverability, and she'd have kind of a blaster poke attack, whereas Ant-Man would be more of a brawler, and he could shrink and become small to kind of dodge people, and then become big and maybe have like damage resistance or like more health or something. But yeah, just be shrinking in, sneaking up on people. You don't really see him. He's effectively invisible, like Psylocke, and then just start punching them out of nowhere. So that'd be really fun. And an ultimate ability that uses both of them would be really cool. Or involved ants. So anyway, moving on. America Chavez. And I'll explain why this character. I have another one that I think this kind of goes with. But America Chavez having portals, I think, is going to be different than Doctor Strange. I think it'd be more akin to magic, but could be unique in its own way, right? So, just the fact that she's a duelist is just she has like super strength, and can jump really high, has like pretty good damage resistance, just in her power set in the comics and stuff. But obviously the portals would be kind of what keep her alive, just like magic, right? I think if you were to be able to open a star portal the same way that Strange does, I think it'd be a little bit different. I don't think you would be able to just sit there and cast your punch in the same way that Doctor Strange casts a portal. So one of the things I was thinking about is if she uses it as like, I'm going to set this point as I walk past it as the first anchor of my portal, and then as I'm walking around and fighting and stuff, at any point I can deploy my portal and then go back to that first point. So it'd be kind of like either a way to get people back from spawn, or a way to heal yourself back to spawn, right? Or escape. But obviously other people could go through the portal too, so you kind of do want to be careful with where you do that. But yeah, I just think it'd be a fun idea. Similarly to kind of what that gameplay looks like in my head is just the idea of Nightcrawler. So obviously he's, I think, heavily rumored in the game because people really do want to see him. And he'd have some amount of teleporting ability, whether it looks like magic's or not. or America Chavez's. I think he would definitely be a duelist, given how strong he is, his swords, things like that. So it'd be fun to see what his abilities look beyond that, or what his ultimate would look like. All right, last duelist that is either rumored for good reason or extremely requested as a fan favorite is Daredevil. Obviously, the show is amazing. The character's always been amazing. People want to see him, I think, probably as a duelist, if I had to guess. His attack speed wouldn't be as high as Iron Fist's, I don't think. That I feel like seems like common sense. He just doesn't really attack that fast. Iron Fist is kind of uniquely fast. But he would have to do just as much damage. He would have to be as consistent at killing things. He would have, his batons that can, shoot at a range and come back. He'd probably have some sort of, using the batons to do some maneuverability, kind of like a Black Widow, grappling hook or something. Be interesting to see what his abilities look like and kind of what his ultimate would be if it involves kind of the Widowmaker ability from Overwatch, right? Whether you can see everyone, whether they're visible to you as a player or not, you can now use echolocation to see them or something. Who knows? Like it would be really cool to just kind of see his skill set fleshed out, because it does seem redundant to just do a Spider-Man kit for him because he's a brawler or something. Like it's just, I don't think they would do something that simple. I think it would be very fun and unique. Moving on to strategists. So healers. That being said, I don't think we should have any more duelists in the game. I think we should stop. I think we should move on to tanks and strategists because we need more of them. Not that we don't like playing tank, but because we don't like playing the same 9 tanks. Miss Marvel, I think it would be kind of obvious and honestly lazy to just make her a duelist just like Mr. Fantastic, because she has big hands and can punch and stretch. Like that's just not really, I think, what I would want out of the character, especially with both the movies and the comics moving towards like her Nori, crystalline structure. I think there'd be a lot more abilities that you can put into a video game. Just the wall building ability of Groot, but now their platform building ability from Miss Marvel. Obviously, she could have Nori powered or just stretchy powered punches, but her ultimate ability could definitely be a lot cooler than just a big bouncing ball, which I know is kind of a necessity of Mr. Fantastic. Like, you're making a character that is Mr. Fantastic, you got to do a couple things. That's one of them. But I think Miss Marvel has a little bit more variety and options to her, and I do think she should be a healer. When you're near allies, she should be inspiring them, joking, picking them up off their feet, maybe stopping stuns or something. Like, she really should be healing as well as dealing damage. I think she'd be an interesting character to kind of engineer in that way. This next one, obviously, Dazzler. I think Jubilee would also be a good pick, but I just went with Dazzler just because I think the roller skates are fun and would be a fun, almost like counter pick to Luna Snow. So whereas Luna has to like get off of the ground for a sec before she starts ice skating, it'd be fun to have Dazzler's just movement speed be very high and should be very fast. So a fast healer kind of just does appeal to me. So like if you're as fast as Captain America and he can't catch you, I mean that's a lot better than Luna Snow, because she does have that moment where she's vulnerable. Dazzler's light show would be just as fun and just as girly pop as Luna Snow's. So definitely a fan favorite and a must-have in my opinion. So whether it's Dazzler or Jubilee, just the light show X-Men girlies would be a welcome addition to the game. Next is Kang. I really think he would be a strategist. I stand by that. I don't think he would be a duelist. His tech is too cool. He would have some maybe sitting chair or flying platform or something where he can go around, whether he's just hovering or flying. And you can just deploy tech kind of similar to the way Ultron does to heal, support, maybe do extra damage, something. But yeah, his energy beam attack would be super cool. His ultimate, I can't even imagine what he would do. All of time travel at his fingertips. So I think the possibilities are really what I'm more excited about. more so than just the Kang character. Like I think, yeah, I do like Kang, but I like the idea of Kang in this video game. Next is Beast, obviously an X-Men that people love and would love to see in the game. I understand if you think that he would be a Vanguard. I think it would be really cool for him to be a strategist because his technology, just like we just talked about Ultron and Kang, healing people would be really fun. He could have a beaker of health potion that he throws at you, which would be really fun, or like a damage one or something, like a toxic acid damage. Just the fun possibilities to think of what's hiding in his lab coat. But I think he would also play kind of like Winston from Overwatch. Shielded strategist would be really fun, to where he's kind of like a Brigitte from Overwatch, where he's got a shield, but his primary thing is healing. So he's kind of well-rounded and can really do a lot of damage, do some healing, do some tanking, and just kind of just do a little bit of everything. I think it'd be really fun to have Beast as a healer. Be open-minded, please. And last but not least, you don't want him. It's MODOK. So I think Marvel Rivals leans into, like we talked about, like the meme factor of some of the characters, right? They lean into Venom, they lean into Squirrel Girl, Jeff, Moon Knight. There's a bunch of characters that like they allow the silly to come through, and love him or hate him, MODOK is that silly. He is that meme. So I think I'm here for the MODOK being a strategist, because he's a mechanism designed only for killing, and he can't kill anything, he only heal stuff. So his ultimate being a big, flame stuff with buzz saws and lasers and all that jazz. I definitely am here for. If you're not here for a silly MODOK, are we really friends? I don't think so. So yeah, silly MODOK needs to happen in Marvel Rivals. Wouldn't you love to kill this?
Perfect.
Wouldn't you love to kill MODOK and have him go yeah when he dies? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yep.
All right, so honorable mentions. I have them on my phone. I'm gonna read them. So these ones, like when we were talking about like what characters we want to see in the game, I think these characters obviously are fan favorites, or like my favorites. That I don't think the abilities were as obvious or as inherent to me when I was thinking about how they would translate into the game, or maybe they would like break the meta or something. But yeah, I still think they're worth talking about. It'd be fun to think about what that character would look like in the game. Or like Falcon, just kind of ruining the flyer meta again. Kingpin, what would his abilities be? Vision, being kind of a Adam Warlock clone maybe. Quicksilver, running faster than Captain America, breaking the game. Iceman, another X-Men that people love, will be really fun. Gambit, obviously, people love Gambit. Howard the Duck, he's super fun to play in like the Lego Marvel games. They just give him a big rocket launcher or something. Angela, like there's just like Rogue, Professor X. You can see all the lists online of characters that people want to be in the game, but who knows what characters are going to be in the game upcoming besides Blade and maybe Deadpool, Cyclops. I don't know if that's confirmed. So just excited to be playing Season 3, and who's your main in the comments? Let me know, and thanks for hanging out. Again, I'm CL Zeno. I'm a writer and comic artist, and check out my website, clzeno.com, and subscribe. Thank you.